What is up, my cybersecurity and cryptocurrency associates? This is the Cybersecurity and Cryptocurrency Podcast. Today is Friday, November the 30th of 2018, and this is episode 50. Big news today that we're going to touch on Marriott Hotels. Also going to talk about a Dallas CEO and their cryptocurrency scandal. Going to talk about the Crypto Economics Explorer that CoinDesk created, and also going to talk a little bit about Ethereum and their new proposed changes. And last but not least, more Bitcoin ETF talk. So we'll start off with the biggest news of the day today. Marriott came out and said that 500 million accounts have been breached. That's specifically for their Starwood brands. It includes multiple sub-brands of Starwood. Those sub-brands are St. Regis, Westin, Sheraton, and the W hotels. So this is a huge breach. They also said that the hackers had been in their network since 2014, and they're just now seeing it. So it's pretty scary stuff to think about. But if you do have an account with them, change your password, all that good stuff. And if you have a credit card that's on file with them, you probably want to get a new credit card as well. They did say that credit card information could have been breached as part of this as well. But if they've been in there since 2014, I'm sure they've been hacking people this entire time and selling your credit card info since 2014 if you've ever stayed at a Marriott hotel. Now, they're not saying that it's affecting other brands of Marriott. It's just the Starwood brands. So we'll see if anything else comes out about that, but I'm curious to know, if they only got into Starwood stuff, how is that possible? And why wouldn't they have gotten into other databases as well, unless they just had them segmented? Marriott did purchase Starwood quite a while back, so maybe that was part of it. They just kept the databases separate when they purchased it. I don't know, but they bought it back in 2016. So that's, I guess, it's sad to know that they bought a company that had already been breached, and they brought it into their environment, and they had no idea that hackers were just sitting there watching everything since 2014. But that's definitely the biggest news of today. Everybody's freaking out about that, but 500 million people were affected by this, so that is quite a bit. Marriott's stock prices also tumbled today as well. It fell more than 6% just today alone. So Marriott has 6,700 hotels in 129 different countries. So those 500 million people are across multiple countries as well. Either way, it's a pretty massive breach, and to know that they've been in their systems for almost 5 years now, that's just really scary stuff. There's not a lot of other information as to how they got into their systems, at least not yet. There's also not any information about how they detected the hackers were into their systems either. I'm guessing that more news will come out about this in the future upcoming weeks, but for now, precautions should be taken by everybody that's ever stayed at a Marriott. Also, a great thing to do is to freeze your credit report. That is probably the best thing you can do to protect not only your identity, but your credit as well. You can freeze your credit report for free now. The credit bureaus used to charge for that, but now they do not. So you can go out to their websites and freeze your credit now for free. So I highly recommend doing that if you have not already frozen your credit. Do highly recommend doing that now, especially. In other news, a Dallas CEO, this one's really funny. It's kind of a crossover story with cyber and crypto, but the CEO of Arise Bank was arrested today in a cryptocurrency scheme that basically tricked a whole bunch of investors out of about $4 million. The CEO's name is Jared Rice, and he was arrested Wednesday, So he's facing multiple counts of wire fraud and securities fraud. So this one's really scary because I don't understand how this bank even came to be and how auditors didn't find this kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's very, very surprising. FDIC also said that Arise Bank was not even FDIC insured, which I don't even know how that's possible, but that's just wild. So Arise Bank was trying to offer consumers FDIC insured accounts and Visa debit and credit cards and cryptocurrency services, but they weren't even FDIC insured. So Mr. Jared Rice Sr. was arrested on those charges on Wednesday. So that's a pretty wild story there. I don't understand how the bank even gets created without some sort of audit happening prior to the bank even opening up, and how auditors didn't find this kind of stuff prior to the bank opening up or even after the bank opened up. So pretty crazy stuff there. But Mr. Jared Rice, he's in jail for a long time now. So in cryptocurrency news, I talked a few days ago about the Crypto Economics Explorer on CoinDesk. And so I've been kind of digging into that a lot more now, and I'm finding that it's actually pretty slick. It's hard to tell, what you would trade off of based on these graphs and whatnot that they show you, but it does show trends with the price, the network, the developer activity, social media activity, and exchange activity. So pretty cool stuff there. You can also select a myriad of different currencies depending on what you want to look at. And also I found out that Ripple is above Ethereum now. Their market cap is $14.5 billion, and Ethereum's is at $11.7 billion. So Ripple finally overtook Ethereum, and they're now number 2 on the chart. So it's Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Stellar, EOS, and Litecoin. So pretty wild stuff there. I didn't think that Ripple would actually get above Ethereum, but they are now, and by 3 billion it looks like, just over 3 billion. So pretty wild stuff there. Which brings me to the next story about Ethereum 1x. It's the new, what they say is going to fix the scaling issues of Ethereum. So Ethereum is basically the platform that a lot of these decentralized applications are built on. And because of that, it's putting all kinds of load on the Ethereum network, and they're having scalability issues. Not only is it creating load issues, it's also creating storage issues as well. With all the transactions and everything that's now being stored on that blockchain, it's just really, really slowing it down and making it very expensive to even send any Ethereum. It's also expensive to use any other tokens that are built on the Ethereum platform. It's expensive to send those tokens because you have to use what's called Ether or gas, if you want to call it that as well. But it does require some of that Ether to be able to send these tokens as well, and it's been extremely expensive of late. Now, they are talking about in this new Ethereum 1x that they're going to try to get those prices down for all of those tokens and decentralized apps. They want to bring that gas price down if they can, and that would just promote more people using the platforms and more people building decentralized apps on their platform as well. But still a lot more to come on this. This is just kind of their initial talks, and they've kind of gone through all their code optimizations that they want to do, and they've discussed everything that they want to do. And I mean, they were talking about, there's going to be 300 gig of chain data by the end of next year. I mean, that's a lot of data on the Ethereum blockchain there. So for anybody to just store that on a system, you're going to need a terabyte hard drive, and it's just going to keep going up and up and up. So in other news, Bitcoin ETF lovers went back to the SEC and tried to pitch ETF to the FCC again. They basically told the SEC that it's similar to other commodity futures, and it was also less susceptible to manipulation. And they specifically cited that other commodities and whatnot, somebody could come out and give trade secrets or trade information related to whatever commodity it is, and they could either buy or sell based on those trade secrets, which is essentially manipulating the market. The fact that they said that is great and all, but the Bitcoin market could be just as susceptible to this kind of a thing if you had a crypto whale out there that had a whole bunch of Bitcoin and they wanted to raise the overall price of Bitcoin, and they purchased, whatever it is, $100 million in Bitcoin, and you had a whole bunch of other people that purchased right before the $100 million purchase. When everybody gets up to that 100 mil purchase, they would all sell after that 100 mil purchase goes through and the price goes up. And therefore, everybody else that purchased underneath that $100 million purchase would profit quite a bit from that. So there is still some manipulation that can happen with Bitcoin, but they're trying to present it to the SEC as if it's just like any other commodities, and they were saying it's less susceptible to manipulation. All right, folks, that's all I have for today. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at eEnglish34, at eEnglish34 on Twitter. Also want to thank our sponsors, Southern Graphics T-Shirt Company. Their website is southerngraphicst-shirtco.com. Go check them out. It has links to their Etsy store and their Facebook store on their website, so go check them out as well. All right, folks, I want to appreciate everybody for listening, and we will talk again soon. Have a great weekend.